How are your meditations in the forest?
Well, this morning I didn't have time to do much, but I've been making the time to go out to the park and to the actual forest. And yeah, it's amazing out there. It's amazing. Um, I don't feel like I'm trying to get anything done or that I'll get anywhere, you know, or that there's anything to obtain. It's not a job. Um, it's pleasant. The time goes fast these days, especially if I'm in the forest. Um, and the mind goes, but then it stops, and sometimes there's just an observing of the forest, which is always just amazing. The way that the air feels and smells and looks, and the mists in the morning, and the presence and the stillness, and so it's something I still do. But I'm no longer under the delusion that it's gonna change anything. That I'm trying to accomplish anything. It's just taken a little time to notice,
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if it's possible. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like I've settled into this sort of.
I just want to enlarge the screen. The screen became very small here. So
Okay.
uh, do this.
Are you on your laptop?
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine. Yes.
I feel like I've settled into something akin to boredom, you know?
Mm. Yeah.
It's like this sort of realization that I don't have to do anything to prove myself. No one cares anyway. Things are going to work out until they don't. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for doing stuff, you know. Um, I can handle pain. Pleasures will come and go. And I love in the moment the things that arise, even when they're unpleasant. I find myself enjoying them from a certain perspective. But it's sort of like, all right, well, is this all there is? I guess I'll look at the news. I don't know. Are you hearing me?
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's the problem. Laptop not working, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna close it. Well, yeah, there's just this, um, which is already just what is. The laptop not working well, happening, trying to fix some things there. The wind blowing, people talking, the space, everything is already nothing. Everything is already empty. In the story, it may seem as if there is a real separate doer who is doing things, who is thinking, who's waiting, who's being patient, who's trying to get or not. But that as it is already this, is already totality, is already wholeness appearing as what seems to be a doer, thinking that it's doing things, but there is already no one there. That as it is, it's just a story. Being a doer who is doing things, who fail at times, who succeed at times, it's just a story. That story as it is empty. There's no one behind it. This isn't being done by anybody. It's just what's happening. In the story, it may seem as if it's going somewhere, but it's never really going anywhere. It's just what appears to happen to nobody, for nobody. There may be a claim, something may seem to come up and say, but this is happening to me. Well, that is already empty. That which seems to say that is already this. There's no one who says anything here. No one has ever said anything. No one has ever done anything already. The sense of being separate from this is just a sense. It's just this appearing as a sense. It's just this, which is nothing, appearing as what seems to be the sense of being separate from this. But there's no one who is really separated from this. That feeling that is being felt, that is accompanied by thoughts that I'm here, I'm sitting on a chair, I'm separate from everything, is already empty. There's no one behind the feeling who is really feeling it. It's just a feeling. And when there is that looking, it may be seen that it's just a feeling. There's no one behind it. But in the story, it may be overlooked. There may be an assumption that, I'm the one who's feeling it. And that can be seen through. There's no one there. When that is not overlooked, when the one who claims to be separate is looked for, it is seen that that one is already not there, as separate from this. It's just this already, which doesn't know any separation, which doesn't know anything. It's just everything. Yet it's nothing. It's everywhere and nowhere. It can never be grasped, can never be seen, because there are no different parts. There's nothing sticking out that can be able to identify this and claim to have seen this. There's just everything. This is not separated already from itself. There's no dividing line. There's no one here and no one anywhere already. Even in the midst of the story that seems to be happening, there's already no one to find this. There's just this also appearing as somebody who's looking for this. And the sense of being separate from this may seem to stop, may seem to deconstruct. And there can be a realization that even that sense as well was still an expression of this. There wasn't anyone who was separate. There wasn't any sense that is sticking out on its own somewhere out there that is separate from everything. It was just already this, also expressing as the sense of being separate from everything. Can the seeker find this? No. The seeker cannot find this because there's no seeker. What appears to be the seeker is already this. So there's already no one, nothing to find this already. It's just this. Even that which seems to be the seeker, who has been seeking for this for years. When that recognition happens, it is seen that there wasn't any seeker. In the story, it may seem as if what's meditations and seeking led to something, led to a recognition happening. But it is seen when the recognition happens, it is seen that nothing happened that led the recognition to happen. Everything was this already. It was this expressing as what seems to be the seeking, taking maybe 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day, doing an intense meditation. Yet in the story, it may seem as if there is really something to attain. There's really something to get. But when it is noticed that there's just this, it is seen that there's really nothing to get. There's really nothing to find. Even what appears to be the finder is already not there to find anything already. There's no finder, there's no seeker, and there's nothing to seek for. There's just what's happening. Just what is can never really be done. What is already not being done by anybody. It's just what is. Somebody seeking for this is just what is. Or what appears to be somebody seeking is just what is. Thinking that there's something to get is just what is. That's present. Losing hope, finding hope, looking for something other than this. It's just what is. There isn't anybody who's looking already. There isn't anybody who is not getting it already. There isn't anybody who's on the way. There's just this, which is nothing being everything. And this, what is, isn't happening to anybody already. Yet in the story, it may seem as if there's somebody that this is happening to. Somebody claiming that, oh, my life has been a mess lately. You know, I've not been good with my family. My family has been like having quarrels recently. So everything is bad. But that story as it is already not happening to anybody. Even when there is a claim that it's happening to me, something seems to say it's happening to me, but it's already not happening to anybody. What seems to be the me that the story is happening to is just this already. There's already no me, a real separate me that the story is happening to. Everything is this. Every story is empty. Every sensation is already empty. Every thinking is already empty. There's no thinker. There's no one who's feeling any sensation. There's no one who's satisfied or dissatisfied already. It's just what's happening. And this isn't trying to convince anybody, because it is seen right now that there's no one anyway, even to talk to, even to help. But in the story, it may seem as if there's somebody to help, to direct, to lead, but that's just a story. Everything is empty. Everything is empty and full. In a sense that it's nothing yet as pressing as every apparent thing. And this doesn't mind. It doesn't mind the story, because the story itself as it is already this, is already empty. So what seems to be the seeker can never really find what it's looking for. When the recognition happens, there can be that falling away happening. There can also be a recognition that there wasn't anyone there. So nothing fell away. That which seems to fall away can never be found, because nothing fell away. It can be that sense, that the sense of being separate from everything, that may seem to stop. So somehow that sense of fear, the fear to talk, or the fear to the fear, that fear that usually is there in the story, like fearing people, what people are gonna say if I say such things. People are gonna, think I'm evil, I'm bad, I'm a bad person. That as well seems to deconstruct. So this is shameless. There's no shame. How can nothing be ashamed? Yeah, it's in the story. Something may seem to say you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Look what you've done. But this is already shameless. There's no shame. Just like a newborn baby. The baby goes everywhere freely. And then the parents may seem to like guide the child. No, don't go there. Gonna hurt yourself. You know. The baby doesn't even recognize it's it's naked. It just goes all really. You know, there's no shame there. It may seem to shout when there's a crowd of people. It doesn't say, "Oh, no, I don't know. I'm afraid. I don't want to shout because these people are gonna, you know, what are they gonna think of me if I'm shouting?" So there's no shame there. Somehow everything is natural. You know. So this is natural. This is free and empty to be anything or to appear as anything. So this can never really be found because it's everything. It's everything. Even that which seems to try to find us is already this. So there's just everything. There's only everything. There's nothing to find everything already. Somehow every apparent thing seems to be new, to be always new, because there's no time. Time is illusory. This is timeless. Everything is always, everything is beautiful. Everything is empty because everything is this. And there is already no one who understands this intellectually. Yet saying, I understand this intellectually is already an expression of this. That's already not being done by anybody. So there's no separation. Separation is just a thought. Having different names or the apparent things with their different names is not an evidence that there is separation. Those are just labels. And labeling itself is not separate from this. It's also just this. Things as they are already nameless. They're already empty. They already know things. And what seems to be names are just appearing in this. They are imaginary. The computer screen is not really a computer screen. The tree is not really a tree. The bird is not really a bird. Everything is this. And this is already wordless. It doesn't require words to be spoken for it to be what it is. This is boundless energy. There's just boundless energy even behind these words that are spoken right now. Also appearing as words themselves. So this boundless energy is timeless. It's everywhere and nowhere already. It is not a person. It is not a man or it was never born. Therefore, it never dies. It is the essence. It is what you really are.
You just hit the mute button. I can, it's not hidden now. I think I can hear you. Why don't you say something?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's timeless. It's timelessly present as every apparent thing. It can never be limited by the country. It can never be limited by the continents. It can never be limited by this sphere called Earth. It is boundless. It is everywhere present. It is everywhere and nowhere. It can never be found because there's no finder. There's just it already. Everything is this. There's nothing to find this. There's nothing to know this. There's nothing that is seeking for this. It's just this already. As pressing as every apparent thing. Even that which seems to be seeking for this. There's no one looking from behind those eyes already. All the appearances are this already. All these bodies are appearing in this, as this. All the trees, the cities, the countries, the whole world, the space is appearing in this, as this. To say there is a world or no world, it doesn't matter to this. To say there is consciousness or no consciousness, it doesn't touch this. To say this or not this, not this. it's those are just concepts. This is already what it is, with or without any concepts. This is wordless, yet appearing as words. This is sensorless, yet appearing as what seems to be the sensor. There are no individuals, yet this may appear as individuals. There is already no separate self who's separate from everything. There's just this already, which also appears as what seems to be a separate self. So knowing something is just a story. This is unknowable. This can never be known. How can everything be known? There is only everything. How can everything be known? By whom? If all there is everything, then who is there to know everything? So peace, joy, love that is being felt is already an expression of this. Also anger, frustration, losing hope is an expression of this as well. There is somehow a balance, the apparent good,
I'm sorry, what was that
apparent
last?
evil.
There's a balance, and then you said
Good and evil, or apparent good and evil. But there's no real good or evil, or good or bad. Everything is an expression of this. Everything is this already. So the mind can never really find this, can never recognize this, because there's no mind. It's as if there's no head. It's just a body without a head. Imagine that.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the simile. What is a body without a head? Everything?
Yeah, it's the same as what was spoken. There's no mind to know this. So
Yeah.
when I say there's no mind, you can say as well there's no head. You know, there's already no one who's seeing things. Yet in the story, it may seem as if there's somebody who see things, who see a tree. That's just a story. And when there's detachment, or when detachment happens, it may be seen as if there's something that is seeing the body from here. I think you also once told me about that glimpse. But all that somehow dissipates as well. It is seen that there's no one here and no one anywhere. There's no here, there's no anywhere. There's just this. This empty fullness, this aliveness. There's just aliveness. There's no one who's alive. I'm alive. It's just a story. It's just aliveness expressing as that. So aliveness as it is has never been born. Therefore, it never dies. It doesn't come from anywhere. And it's going nowhere. It's just aliveness. Expressing as birds flying, the weather, people walking in the streets, cars footing, government, politics. Everything is already this boundless aliveness. The destruction of the body, it doesn't touch aliveness. Because also the body itself as it is also aliveness. Just like, it's more like when the ice, when there is water, you put the water inside the deep freezer, it becomes an ice. Then when we take it out, it melts, becomes water again. But it's still there, never gone anywhere. So it's the same as the body, you know, same as the trees, planets, everything.
Well,
Energy can be transformed, can never be destroyed. Sorry?
I hate to I hate to cut you off,
It's okay.
but you're on such a beautiful roll. But I've got a call in a minute and I have to run to the restroom.
Okay. Okay.
Apparently.
I understand.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.